Hi everybody, Mrs. Kroll here. This is going to be a video on reflections. So the first thing, what is a reflection? Well, it's a transformation that uses a line like a mirror to flip over a figure. And then the line of reflection is that mirror line that we're using. Okay, that's what's going to use it to flip that figure over and change it into something else. So we're going to learn some rules today that are going to follow along and use these rules every time. So I'm going to draw an X and a Y axis here so that we can talk about it. Okay, and use it to help us with our rules. So the first one is the X axis. If we have an ordered pair of X, Y, and I want to reflect them over the X axis, they are going to turn into X negative Y. And so that you remember, the X-axis is going to be this one right here. So it's flipping over that line. Then the Y-axis, if we start off with a point XY, it's going to turn to negative XY. And I say negative X, but really it's going to change the sign. So if it was already negative, it's going to turn positive. And if it's positive, it's going to turn negative. So it says negative, but it's changing the sign. And your Y-axis is going to be right here. So flipping over that line. Then the next one is flipping over the line Y equals X. When we look at the line Y equals X, it's actually a line diagonal through the coordinate plane. So that way we have an idea of what that is. And when we do the reflection of that one, XY turns into YX. And then the last one, if I go over the line Y equals negative X, that's this line down here, negative slope now, so it's going to go down. And the rule for that one is if we start with XY, that's going to turn into negative Y negative X. So it's still flipped like the Y equals X, but since it's over the negative, it's going to end up both being negative. So let's do these three problems together. The first one that we're going to do is graph the triangle. So I'm going to graph triangle ABC. So A is at 1, 2, 3. B is at 4, 4. And C is at 3, 1. So I'm going to connect them. And I'm going to label. And we're going to reflect over the Y-axis. So I'm going to keep my colors the same. I want the Y-axis right here. So when you actually do the reflection, something to think about is it's going to be a mirror flip. So it needs to be exactly the same image, so it's not going to change its size. And it's not going to change its distance away from this line of reflection. So all of these points, A, B, and C, need to flip over the Y-axis. So we're going to use the rule. So it says keep the X and change the X to opposite sign, and then keep the Y exactly the same. And remember, whenever we transform a figure, we call it prime. So A prime is going to be negative 1, 3. B prime is going to be negative 4, 4. And C prime is going to be negative 3, 1. So let's graph those then right away. And when you connect them to make the triangle, let's label A prime, B prime, and C prime. And then you can double check. It should be the exact same size. Since it's in the mirror, it's not making it bigger or smaller. So if you have a triangle that is now a different size triangle, you know you made a mistake there. And then they should be the same distance away from this line. So here it's 1 space away from the line. Here it's 1 space away from the line. Here it's 3 spaces away. Here it's 3 spaces away. So each point is going to be the same distance away from that line of reflection. All right, let's go number 2. We're going to graph the triangle, and then we're going to flip it over the line y equals x. So y equals x is going to be this line right here. And then let's draw in the original triangle. So -3, 5, -5, 7, and then -2, 1. It's going to make a skinny triangle right here. And then I'm going to label D, E, and F. And so when we look at these ones, the rule, oops, this is D, sorry. E. The rule for this one is to switch the ordered pair. So the y becomes the new x, and then the x becomes the new y. So d prime is going to be 5, -3. And nothing changes with the signs here. So then e prime is going to be 7, -5. And f prime is going to be 1, -2. So it's going to be 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -3. And then it's going to be 7, -5. And then finally it's going to be 1, -2. And when you look at that reflection, again, the triangle